This is a short video on how to make a scatter plot in SPSS. Okay, so before we do any regression, we first want to make sure that there's a linear relationship between our two variables. So to do this, we go up and we make we're just going to make a regular graph. So we're going to go into Graphs and then Chart Builder. And this, you may remember this from your days in social research design. If you're unfamiliar with Chart Builder, you may want to go into the social research design SPSS videos on my YouTube feed and watch the ones about how to make a pie chart, because it explains how Chart Builder works. So in Chart Builder, there's all of these different kinds of graphs that you can make, and we just want to make a scattered dot graph. So that's the first thing we do, is we need to pick which kind of graph we want to make. So if we double click on the simple scatter plot, this is one that just involves two variables. It's very straightforward. And what we need to do is we need to tell SPSS what variable we want on our x-axis and on our y-axis. So say we're really interested in this relationship between somebody's occupational prestige and the number of hours that they work. So I'm going to move number of hours. Oh, that's spouse. Let's move that back. Number of hours that they worked. Okay, we'll do number of hours your spouse worked. And then we'll do the highest year of school. Okay, this sort of makes no sense. These aren't actually really good independent and dependent variables, but we'd always want to put our independent variable down here on the x-axis and our dependent variable up here. So maybe we'll switch these around just to make a little more sense. And that's all we have to do. And if you notice, it doesn't really show you what this actual scatter plot's going to look like. We don't get to see that until we go into our output file. We can change all sorts of things, such as kind of how this is mapped, kind of what the access label is, and kind of what's included and what's not. But we're not going to really worry about that now. We just want a really simple visual of the relationship between our data. So this creates a little scatter plot for us, and I do mean little because not very many people answered this question about the number of hours their spouse usually works a week. So this is the highest year of school completed of the respondent, and then how much their spouse works, right? And so we can look at this and think, is this linear looking? My first instinct would be that it's linear perhaps, but there's not much of a relationship between the two things, right? We could do regression to figure out. It doesn't seem like it's a non-linear relationship, but it doesn't seem like there's much of a relationship there. That's a very simple way to do a scatter plot.